Hey, what is up, everyone? It's Rich. All right, welcome to a new series. These are shorter videos, and it's called The First Three. And what we do is we look at the first 3 pages of any sort of origin book of a character. I'm going to break it down into a few different scenarios. A lot of times it'll be number one issues of like a launch book for a character, but some characters appear in other titles, so we may do the first 3 pages of when that character appears, if it's a splash page at the end of the book and then a lead-in to the next story. But I did a test of it on Patreon last night, and everyone seemed to like it, and it created a lot of conversations. So if you haven't checked out my Patreon, there's over 70 videos unlisted on YouTube that you can get access to. I have tiers for private one-on-one feedback. I can give you inking lessons, penciling lessons, the whole thing. But all right, let's check it out. So we're going to do Spawn number 1. And let's see the first 3 pages of Spawn and what Todd McFarlane sets up in these first 3 pages. So this is his artist edition style book called the Vault Edition. Todd did a twist on it. We'll look at the cover, but that's almost like a bonus image. So this is the cover for number 1. It was a really, really cool piece. So I mean, we can analyze this and just say that he clearly reveals what Spawn looks like on the very first page. It's not a mystery. It's not something that's going to be unveiled, 16 pages into the story, or some sort of switch is going to happen. And look, every comic is different. Batman's origin is different than Thor's origin. Yesterday I did a Silver Surfer comic, and that was different than, whatever an X-Men character's first appearance would be, or first issue would be. So anyway, so Todd really gives it to you all here on the cover. I mean, you've got him on a rooftop. There's bats. So you're immediately going to assume that, well, okay, this character could be a bad guy. He's got chains and a skull, spikes. There's like magic coming off of his hands. I mean, this character looks very, very powerful and pretty intimidating. I mean, he's in a very intimidating crouched pose. The cape is flying everywhere. He's kind of like Dracula meets Batman. With a little bit of like Lobo thrown in or something. But anyway, okay, so let's look at the first 3 pages and see what he sets up here, and how well he hooks you into the story and what he establishes. That's an important part too. All right, so I don't belong. Not here, not now. I have to get back there. All right, so it's got this nice long tall panel with Earth. The bet was rigged, he made me believe. Now there's darkness in my soul. I want to die again. This is some dark stuff. Right, so again, let's just look at the full page. I don't belong, not here, not now. I have to get back there. Right, so it's interesting. And you would almost think that there's a galactic, maybe this guy's from another planet, based on that we're away from Earth, looking at Earth, and he's saying that he needs to get back there. The bet was rigged. He made me believe, as the planet sort of drifts off. Now there's darkness in my soul. Very, very cool story beats here. I want to die. Now we're in the city. See a building again. All right, now that's a very interesting reveal for the first page. So we've got a character that looks like Dracula, Batman, Lobo, all this kind of crazy thing. We're getting the impression that he's probably not from Earth. He's made a bet, and he was cheated. There's darkness in his soul, so the vampire thing or a demonic possession. I want to die again. So he's clearly been dead as well. This is pretty brutal. All right, so but I chose to come back. And we got a little silhouette of him. And then it's someone says why, but it's, to me, it's not 100% clear that it's him saying it, but maybe that's just me. But, okay, well, I guess it would be him. But I chose to come back, and then why? And then we cut to one of Todd's kind of classic, like, news pages. And this is a lot to read in a video that I wanted to keep short, but let's crank through it really fast. So services were held today for Lieutenant Colonel Al Simmons at Arlington Cemetery. All right, so now we're finding out that someone died named Al Simmons, and he was an Army colonel. In Virginia. Simmons is best known for his courageous involvement in saving the president from an assassination attempt. Simmons rose to the ranks of the... Oh, so he's a Marine, sorry. Following his services overseas, his memory was honored by both the president and vice president, as well as hundreds of officers from all the armed services. Lieutenant Colonel Simmons, who disappeared from public view shortly after the Hinckley incident, was believed to have been involved with numerous covert government task forces. Informed sources say that his presence in Botswana at the same time as Youngblood agents was no coincidence. Youngblood, in theory, probably is referencing Rob Liefeld's book, but we may not know that if chronologically what came out. So frankly, this stinks of a government cover-up, so what else is new? So there's conspiracy involved, and the lovely Wanda Blake was absolutely divine in a disarming, simple jet black Giovanni original. And say, who was that? Oh, okay, so what it is I read it a little bit out of order, but anyway, his wife Wanda Blake remained quiet through the duration of the funeral, but seemed to need help near the end of the proceedings. Friends and family have all been supportive and will start a new scholarship fund in his name that will benefit the United Negro College Fund. So CNN's got kind of like a more serious report. My view on this is more of a POV of maybe a commentary type thing. Though I'm sure Lieutenant Colonel Simmons was a man of courage and integrity, it's a government's boys club attitude that appalls me. Information is given out at their discretion and in almost a Hollywood type fashion, and we all know how movie makers never stretch the truth. So this guy's, obviously maybe like a fringe reporter. And then this is kind of the gossipy, Entertainment Tonight or whatever, like fashion kind of news. Which is funny. I mean, this is a long time ago that Todd wrote this to have that. But anyway, and the lovely Wanda Blake was absolutely divine and a disarmingly simple jet black Giovanni original. And say, who was that tall, dark, and handsome prince on her arm at the ceremony? Well, a little bird told me that Martin Alexander was Wanda's closest friend back in high school. He introduced her to Al Simmons at the Republican convention in 1984. Well, there's the potential affair. Well, where this potential affair is leading remains to be seen. We'll be keeping an eye out. As for you, Mr. Martin Alexander, shame on you. Let the poor woman grieve. Besides, she'll have a tough time finding a replacement for a husband voted one of the 10 sexiest men 2 years ago, even though the government tried to hide this sweet morsel from all of us. This charismatic gentleman couldn't be kept out of sight. So anyway, that's pretty interesting. I apologize that I read that out of order, but anyway, you get the idea. So he gives you a lot of information on this page. We've got that Al was a Marine colonel, war hero. Saving the president from an assassination attempt. And then this one is interesting. I want to read this again. So Lieutenant Colonel Simmons, who disappeared from public view shortly after the Hinckley incident, was believed to have been involved with numerous covert government task forces. Informed sources say that his presence in Botswana at the same time as Youngblood agents was no coincidence. Frankly, this thinks of a government cover-up. So what else is new? Okay, so I get it. So anyway, you definitely get the impression that this guy is who they're talking about here. I think this is a fantastic first 3 pages of a book, to be honest. I think he really did a kick-ass job of setting up not only a compelling cover, so you already know where this is headed. Like, this is the dude. All right? There's a lot of fantastic elements involved. Death, rebirth, hell. And then we find out who he is, that his wife is still alive and she's with another man. And, that he was potentially murdered. It's really, really good. So I give this 5 stars. Todd McFarlane, you kicked ass. But you know what? Spawn is the comic book that got me into comics. So if I could have ever started this series with a a more perfect book, I don't think I could have, because this is the only reason that I draw comic books today is this. If my friend would have had me come down and look at something else, there's a very good chance that I would have just gone, meh, this isn't really for me. But he chose well. All right, I'll talk to you all later. Please smash the like if you like this video. Please share it somewhere. And I will be back on Saturday for a Storyteller Spotlight, Sunday for Super Fun Sunday, and then Monday we'll do another Blaster Kid update. All right, thanks. Check out Patreon. I'm telling you, it's really good. There's over 200 posts and probably 70 to 80 unlisted videos with killer content like this, inking videos, penciling videos, you name it. I've put so much stuff up there. There's a ton of... You'll be so busy you probably will never get through all the videos. All right, later, bye.